Recently had an online and an offline Masters events on back-to-back weekends, and I finally have got my act together and we've got both breakdowns. If you do enjoy this kind of content, please be sure to hit the like and subscribe button. Creeping up on 700 subs. Be nice to get there by the end of the year. The other thing I want to talk about is I not long finished a 24-hour stream raising money for men's mental health and male-related cancers. This month, I am spending the whole month raising money for a charity known as MOVEMBER, where you shave off your facial hair, or you can keep your facial hair. In this case, I shave it off, and I grow a mo to raise awareness for it. And if you guys want to get in and help support the cause, the link to donate will be in the description. And if you are in Australia, I also have a giveaway going for a tub of buffs. We've teamed up with the Gamer Realm to give you guys this. If you want to enter, the link to that will be in the description. And also, if you guys want to get yourself some buffs, head on over to the website, use my discount code Hasey at checkout for 10% off. Alright, so first up, we're going over the first online regional, or the online regional that we had, which I believe was, 3 weeks ago. Yeah, 2 weeks ago. Was, of course, as we fix my camera up, 2 weeks ago was the in-person, 3 weeks ago was this online one, and heads up, newsflash, both these events were won by the same person on Gemmers, that is Max. Big shout out to him. Going into the Nats format, this guy is red hot. He's going to be hard to take down, and yeah, so massive congratulations for winning back-to-back events. I believe he's the second person this year to do it, as there was another person that actually went back-to-back. And also, before I get into the breakdowns, I want to have a quick little discussion. And I don't know, you guys might consider this a crash out, but it's something that a lot of people are starting to voice. And I actually have put off doing this video for a little bit because I never push myself specifically for Masters, as Fusion World is my main content. When I start trying to force my content, it either does not perform well or I don't like it. So I always try and make sure that when I do these videos, I do it on my terms. I don't just do it for the sake of doing it, which is the one thing that I always encourage anyone that does any form of content creation. And it's also sort of teams with the theme of the Movember and men's mental health kind of thing. The backstory to that is I've had numerous amounts of uphill battles with mental health over the course of my life, and sometimes I can be very, very glass can. I can be very, very fragile. And during my 24-hour stream, someone did ask about some Masters games. So I went and played in an online tournament. And during that online tournament, I ran into a few little instances which I never experienced before, which sort of like, at the end of the day, actually makes me feel very, I guess you could say, content with the Oceania scene. I don't recall really ever having any dramas in the Oceania scene, and the one time I step away from the Oceania scene to do something, I run into one rather big negative experience for me. And just another one which, look, at the end of the day, like, it does happen. At the end of the day, I generally play mule decks, and mule can trigger a lot of people. So I don't necessarily go out trying to ruin people's days, like, but when you play mule, I guess sometimes it does come with that. People over the years said to me, you know, you're not going to have many friends if you play mule decks. And look, to be honest, that just sort of brushes off my chest. But I actually played against someone who, like, mid-game just scooped up and said, I'm not sitting through this. And I was just like, oh, well, okay. And then during another game, which, mind you, for context, this is a free locals. We're both X1 at the time. I made a mistake in setting up the game. I rolled 2 dice, and one of them fell off the table. And, like, at the end of the day, like, this is all on me. I picked both dice up and re-rolled them. Whereas the correct thing to do is obviously just do the one that fell off the table. Don't ask me why I did it. Because literally I've only just got excuses. Like, that is down to it. I'd been live for nearly 12 hours at the time. I'd been awake for close to 24 hours. My Ritalin had worn off. Like, I've literally just got these little excuses that... And I have brain fades every now and then. I'm not going to lie. I have really simple brain fades, and you look at them and you go, how the hell does this guy do these things? And literally, that's literally just me in a nutshell. Sometimes it happens. And I re-rolled both. I will admit, like, I will emphasize this, that this is largely, like, my fault, because I was sort of a little bit, distracted by the chat and a little bit off in my own little world, where I re-rolled both dice, and I thought I'd heard my opponent say what he had rolled. So I re-rolled and said what I rolled, and he sort of like had like this blank moment and sort of called me out on it, and I was like, oh, okay, well, hey, my bad. I'm happy to re-roll one dice for whatever. And if, like, and then he sort of like, referred to, a fair setup, which, like, I can understand. Look, but then he emphasized the fact that he's over getting gypped in the game, even at locals. So he said to me, I'm not trying to say that you're doing anything, which to me, like, look, this could be an overreaction from me, and I definitely, like, voiced this. I had a little bit of a rant after the game. I've, like, complained about it in my Discord, because, like, I do talk about these things, and it was, like, a real frustrating experience for me. Like, to me, it honestly felt like he was trying to point out the fact that I was trying to cheat him, when it's not the case. But cheaters are a massive thing in the moment of the game. You guys would see it plastered everywhere that there was an event recently, an online winner box, and 2 of the top 8 have been found out to be cheating, including the winner of the event, which is a really frustrating thing to see. But it also goes back to that, like, I don't necessarily blame my opponent for maybe thinking that I'm trying to do something unlawful or something like that, because that's just how what the game's like at the moment. And for me, it really, like, sort of hindered me. Like, I didn't want to play that game then. And I can put the link in the description for the actual part of the stream, and point you guys to where it was and what happened. And it was pointed out to me that it was visible that I wasn't comfortable. I didn't want to play the game. I just sort of, my communication wasn't great. And when I sort of tried to apologize about it after, it was pointed out that, and me not showing that in enjoyment or whatnot nearly led to another problem and getting called out for that. So it was a very frustrating interaction for me to have. Again, like, I do apologize for the mistake, like, but it's just how this game has gotten at the moment, where people are so fragile for little things that, like I said, I don't blame him for thinking that way, because that's just what's going on with the game at the moment. And it literally sort of, like, I stopped for a second and I was just like, I was going to do a Masters tier list during my 24-hour stream, and I didn't even feel the want to do that. Like, it just sucked all my aspirations for Masters, and it's kind of nearly left me questioning, how much do I want to give to this game at the moment? Like, Fusion was my main game, and I enjoy playing Masters to a degree, but the one thing that I have definitely felt is that we've been very, very, I will say very, very lucky. I see all across the world, a lot of places are not even getting online regionals. In Australia here, we've had the most events that we have ever had, and it is a really positive thing to see. But personally, I'm burnt out. I'm burnt out very bad with this game at the moment, and it's just finding it a little bit harder for me to be motivated for this game. To run into this interaction where in Australia, like, we're very lucky that we haven't had any of these issues, and throughout all my casting events that you guys would have seen, everything has sort of run smoothly. There's just been, like, 1 or 2 minor little things where, like, someone might have missed a trigger to a draw, or didn't put a card in the drop, or just little things, but no blatant cheating or anything. So when I run into this thing, it just sort of, like, it really just sucked it out of me. And like I said, when Fusion World is my main thing, it sort of like leaves me questioning how much effort I want to give to Masters. It's like, do I maybe just do I want to focus on just playing casual a bit more with Masters and just sticking to casting a bit more, like the commentating, which I do enjoy. But I'm a competitor at the end of the day, so it's like I have to, there's a lot to it, and it was a really, really frustrating thing for me, and which is why it's actually taken me so long to do this video, because like I said, the theme of this month is like a mental health focus, and it made me cop a whack to my mental health. I'm not gonna lie, but yeah, so that's my thoughts. I would definitely love to hear your guys' thoughts on the state of the game. If Bandai can do anything, or at what point do we think, can anything be done? Are we just gonna have to live with the fact that this is what the game is going to be like moving forward? I really don't want the game to die, but I don't want it to be a case of like we're in now, where everyone's just so fragile. It can lead to poor accusations. It can lead to just things being awkward, and I walked into that situation, and I really don't want to be in that situation again. Obviously, I myself, do need to do better on that sense, so it's like, maybe next time I won't make that effort because I can't fully give 100% to it. So, I apologize to the people that were involved in the locals, because, I don't want people having a negative experience because of me. So, I do apologize. I definitely think maybe, I definitely feel like I'm over-apologizing in the sense, but I just don't, I don't want to have negative experience. I don't want people to have negative experiences because of me. I know that I might trigger negative experiences playing Mill, but that's not, that's not what I am. Anyone that's seen me knows that, I will try and do whatever I can to help the community, and if anyone is in Australia, you guys probably will understand that I definitely think I've done a fair effort in trying to do right by the community, so I wouldn't be blatantly going out to do anything wrong by the community. But anyway, guys, sorry, I just wanted to have a bit of a rant about it, because like I said, it did affect my mental health a bit, and the one thing that I do this month is I focus on talking about mental health, and, sometimes, for me personally, having to make this video having to add this into the video does actually help me a lot, because it gets something off my chest. So it's the one thing that I do focus on. If you guys do struggle with mental health, please do talk to people, because you would be surprised at the help that it does. But anyway, that's my spiel done. Let's get into these lists. So we are over on Deck Planet, and shout out to Deck Planet, because during this event that I casted, they actually put me as a feature on their website. So if you guys had went onto the website during the event that I was casting, you would have seen a link which had the Twitter feed, the Twitch feed of me. So massive shout out to Deck Planet for doing that. That for me was a really cool thing to see, because as long as I can remember, I've been coming to Deck Planet to build my decks and stuff, and to be featured on that website for me is a high. So if any of these lists are you guys do remember the lists, or they were you yourself, and you go back and you see these lists and you think, oh, something's not quite right, I do apologize, because for anyone that knows, Deck Planet recently did a massive update, as you can see. And one thing that happened is I kept all my decks. I had to re-log into everything, but people that sent me Deck Planet links, which is actually massively helpful for me, I couldn't open them. So some of them I had to remake. And I know one of the lists, the Beerus list, I believe this Beerus list isn't 100%. I kind of remember the lists because I had to compare them and make some adjustments for the changes. But I believe it's going to be at least the Beerus list is slightly different. I do remember some of the changes in ratios, because that's all it was. So if there is anything wrong, I do apologize. I did try and repair this as best I could without having to chase everyone up for lists again. To just sort of, I've put this off long enough. I don't want to keep chasing you guys, because you guys do a good job of getting me your lists so I can do these kind of things. So Max did win the event, and this Gemma build, and we actually had this on stream, and if you want a I haven't got it published. I really probably should have published it. I believe it'll be on my YouTube somewhere. If you guys want a masterclass in how to be a great pilot of Gemma, you simply just need to go back to this stream and watch one of Max's games. He piloted this deck. Like, for me, it was probably a flawless game. There was one interaction where I believe he just sequenced wrong and he used Clash to rip the Android 13. When all he had to do was just, I believe in the same turn, he ripped the field, which he just sort of just... There was another card that he could have done to rip this to play it, but he used the Clash, which, now that we think about it, I believe it's actually good. So if you do watch this, Max, this card gains Red Ribbon in all areas, and the thing that was mentioned to me is that this needs to be removed by Red Ribbon, but now that we look at this actually gains Red Ribbon in all areas, so I believe this interaction might have been nice, might have been fine. So if you do watch this, Max, maybe I can't remember the correct thing, but I know it was something triggered with Clash, so I think that actually might clear up the air. But that in turn is one of these things that we're seeing in the game. Someone just pointed out in chat, and it was all good. Like, I made mention to Max after the game, and he's like, "Oh man, sorry, I feel bad about it because it was a thing." But these are interactions that are causing people to label someone a cheat or go back and dig through to find anything they can. So this kind of, for me, clears the air a bit, and it just goes to, it was just a genuine little misstep, like, and someone pointed it out. It's all good. We move on for it. It didn't change the game, how it was going to go out, but that's what it just sort of re-emphasizes my point about how things like this can just, little interactions like this that don't change the game, but people can start labeling it as cheating because of just how the state of the game is. And it just sort of just goes back to what I was saying about it. But for a while, I've been saying Gemmas has been figured out, and it was just a matter of which SCR you ran, and then a couple little ratio changes. But shout out to Gary, who won an event recently, and I don't know if Max took inspiration from this or Max had this form of build in mind, but this build of Gemmas is arguably the most scariest because it focuses on hand control and you have the added advantage of gaining life. So blue at the moment, I think, is probably the strongest color. It's scary to think of. We're going in a blue meta. I've never been, fond of blue. I was always a red player and always got hard checked by blue. But going into a very strong blue meta where you can gain life and rip cards from hand, this to me feels like the ultimate Gemma build. And yeah, for me, it's a very scary thing to see, but it's also not that complete defensive Gemma build that we used to see when the old Gemmas got banned. So pretty much the core is all the same, except we are running 2 measureless strength. We're running the Bionic Blitz SCR and Super Combo and Zeno just to pick things up, because the only other way to pick up cards is the Android 18 Unison, and if you don't want to use that and you ramp into the Android 21, you want to be able to pick it up. So we are also playing, and this was, I thought, a cheeky little bit of tech. I know about this, of course, because I've played cell decks in the past, but you do play a 9-cost cell, and I think it's a... I think it's a 4-cost cell. So you can use it with any of these 2 cells, because they are just cell cards. You can just play this and tap down your opponent's energy for free, on top of it being a free play as well. So an extra body, tap down an energy, synergize as well, because you can play cells. So nice little bit of tech there. As we go into the Z deck, we see the Bojack is 2 of Bojack, so more sort of Unison hate. I'm seeing a lot more Bojack popping up, which is really good for the Unison removal. And we go into the side deck. Interesting to see 1 copy of the Dark Banisher, but I guess just like a game ender. 1 Bad Omen, because of course burn them to 0. We need to have that Final Hope Slash. And the old East Kai, just the sort of OG Koitsu Kai, I guess. So congratulations on the first place finish, Max. So next up, we have Android 21, and it's crazy to see Android 21 back in the meta, but like I said, blue meta of it's only natural that we see Android 21. So congratulations to Jun on 2nd place here, and it's been a while since we've seen Android 21. I know that it is like, I still think it has a strong representation over in, I believe it's NA. But again, with new blue support, like, it sort of makes sense to play Android 21. So we got 4 speedy sub, just, you know, searches for, I believe it's any Android. Yeah, any Android card. And then at the end of the turn, you can, like, filter out a multi. So, you know, you can, like, charge a Measureless Strength and pick it up at the end of the turn and put down a check land to search with this next turn, just sort of, like, enable your first turn. Pilaf Shumai, the Cunning Trio, this card, you know, is, you know, really good in this deck because you tend to have a lot of energy. Just being able to interact with your opponent to just deny them Z energy or just remove keywords, on top of actually, like, tapping down your opponent's stuff. This card just fits very well. 1 Zeno, because you do ramp, you can ramp into your pieces. Again, there's only one of these androids, so you just want another way to pick up an android card if you need to. The searchable Android 8 super combo, if you just want a super combo that replaces itself. I believe this is the only Android card that you can search for. 1 Vegeta for that cycle. 3 of the total audacity, so, like, I believe it's like draw 2 cards, and then, you know, you give your opponent a token, and it's double strike. So really good, pretty much like you use it on your awaken turn just to, like, draw 2 cards and then apply some pressure. Of course, Android 21 STR, a bad omen because we burn them to 0. Full power counter, this card is, like, one of the most annoying floodgates. And this is, like, the only deck nowadays that can facilitate it because, again, you can tap your opponent's things. And if you play against a blue or green leader, this becomes even cheaper, like, because there's less of your energy that you have to tap. And then for those that don't remember what this card does, it has energy exhaust negated. When it's played, you KO something ignoring barrier, like, that's very, very powerful. And then and it places it. Okay, I never actually realized that this places it. I thought it was just a KO ignoring barrier, but it's place and drop. So it gets around those KO death triggers, and your opponent can't attack with non-leaders for the turn unless they lose 1 from Z energy, lose 1 from hand. So if you play either green or yellow, where you have the free discard replay itself, you can play through this very comfortably because, like, if you have a Z energy, you rip your Z energy and you discard one of the free hand hates, it replays, it draws itself, you combo it, you get another Z energy. So if they don't have Pilaf Shumai, that is. So you can kind of play through this, but it is a very annoying card because it also is a 25k double strike. There is very little. It gets through Koitsukai. It gets through a lot of floodgate protection cards, like, you know, the cards that stop things from being played. I believe there's only, like, 2 cards off the top of my head that are seeing any kind of play at the moment, which is, I believe, Let the Battle Begin, which I think is in the sideboard here, which is a... so Let the Battle Begin and Unexpected Turn are the only 2 cards I think floating around the meta at the moment to check this card. This is a very broken card. So while your leader is a blue 21, it's a free 10k. It's a 10k combo. Like, 10k combos are crazy when they're free. When it's played, it places them in their drop, ignoring barrier. But then when you activate a counter skill, you discard 2, and that's on both players' turns. So if they try and play the floodgate and you try and respond to it, you will, like, discard 2 cards for that as well. So this card is so taxing. It is such a powerful card in the deck. And then to top it off, at the end of the turn, you switch 5 energy to active mode. No, that's not like when it's played effect. It's just so if you can kill this before you get to the end of the turn, they won't get the untapped 5, which does actually really hurt them. You would be surprised. So with Android 21 rocking up a bit more, I think we'll start to see a bit more of cunning tech in the sideboards. 3 Measureless Strength to filter, a 2-cost Unison, which can just free combo. Like, at the moment, I really like this Unison at the moment in the meta. I nearly wanted to actually just play it in Daima. I actually think it's really good in Aransu. Like, if you wanted to, you could, like, charge to 5 energy with Aransu and then pay 2 plays from your energy, and effectively only cost you 1. I believe it comes in with 2 markers. Yeah, 2 markers. So just especially, like, again, if you're playing against this deck and you want to charge the energy, like, This card works well, and you can also play it for free off Pansy. We got 4 Pansy here. Like, leaving 2 energy up in this deck, especially when you can untap 5, is no problem. So you can just like pay 2, draw a card, and for those that don't know me, I really love these cards that replace themselves as a counter. And if you don't want to do that, you can just play a Unison. Majin Buu Unison, a deck that can facilitate this Unison. This Unison is still very, very strong, so good to see it getting play again. Glad that it's still only at 1. To Oob, again, another card that that can really sort of hinder your opponent if you charge Z energy. Decks that revolve around certain pieces in the drop, Zamasu for example, or decks that just sort of have, I guess you could say, like you play against green decks, they play the counter card. Oob just Z charges it, so that way you get around the can't bottom deck effect things. And then again, if you have 7 or more Z energy between you, it taxes you if you discard. So for whatever reason, if you could get both of these out, that's like 3 cards you lose for a negate, which is nuts. 4-Dimension Magic, one of the SGRs. I think for this deck, you probably would actually like nearly lean on 2 or 3 of these, but these are hard to get a hold of. And I just think this deck can facilitate the revenge very well because, like I say, you like tap your opponent's stuff, you have something that untaps 5 energy, so it's just natural that I think you could nearly play more copies of this in your deck. And then if you want to play it for offense, it isn't played by a skill, so you can just pay 1 for a double strike in this deck because you can't play things with skills. So like the Oob, it just gets reduced as well as this, so you can play these on your turn comfortably. Like obviously this you can, but if you want to play this for a double strike, you can. For Heroic Prospect, because we can easily facilitate a Unison in this deck, and aggro is a thing, we just want to put an end to that. And Broly Omen of Evolution, because like this deck, we see like 4 Cunnings as well. This deck can sort of like really just play really like deter you from your game plan, and like just denying you things like Z energy is another way just to make it even tougher for you. So we move into the Z deck. So we've got 1 Deborah, 2 of the In Name of Hunger, because like, again, you're Android 21, you want to ramp. And then to top it off, you can actually ramp this Zamasu and then give your Android 21 indestructible. So you've got an indestructible blocker that's, not going anywhere unless it gets blanked or minus to 0. So some good like synergy there. One of the Vegito if you ever want to play a triple strike, or you want to Z stack this, ramp another card, and stack a triple strike. Or if you want the barrier key tag. But I think most of the time you want indestructible over the barrier. Unless, I guess, like you're playing yellow or red and you want the barrier instead. The Mighty Blast, one of the cells, the cheap Unison to obviously enable Heroic Prospect. The Android 18, which synergizes very well because you can like pick up your androids and your energy. And then 1 Bojack. So we move into the side deck. We got 2 of the Wavering Wheels, which can be a really like annoying card because if you play things with a skill, you can like respond with this encounter window too, and just tap down the thing that they played as one of the energy targets. Because you just need like 1 unspecified. So even if you're not playing against blue or green, blue, you can still sort of facilitate this. 2 Let the Battle Begin for those like I guess for like the mirror or just those decks that play those pesky 4 drops. 2 of the SS3 Vegeta, just like a board wipe, draw a card. But I think like if you're tapping 5 of your own energy, you generally have the resource available to go into the 8 drop. So I think you just want to focus on this a bit more. Maybe there's maybe just need like more wider board removal. So you just go to the Vegeta. 2 of the Final Hope, because you just always sort of want to like be able to sort of like, weather the storm against the green counter. 2 Goasu, because Mill is a thing in Oceania, and Mill is heavily represented sometimes, so all the top players you generally will see will sort of always respect Mill. 1 of the King Coles, so I guess like one of the things I'm seeing is blue players playing Oceania in their side deck to sort of slow, you're going to play a long game against blue. And if you play a long game and your opponent thins their deck very thin, you can just like pay 6 for this and just mill them 5. So if they get their deck very, very low, you could like literally just end the game by playing this. 2 Koitsukai and 2 Deborah. So big shout out to you, Jun, on 2nd place. 3rd place, we have, I believe it was Mick Barks. I do apologize if it wasn't, because I think 4th place is Dean. Yeah, 4th place is Dean because I remember the SCR was Pan. So third place is Mick Bark. So shout out to him on third place. He did feature in the last game on stream. And this one is like I've been saying for a while, Vegeta's well figured out. And I think we're seeing just a little like calm down of Vegeta at the moment. I think people are just enjoying playing other decks at the moment. And once Nat starts, I think we probably will still see a higher representation of Vegeta because it is still a very strong deck. I think people are just at the moment just got their options open, just trying other decks to see if maybe Vegeta is still the deck for them. So this deck is actually running the SS4 Gogeta Unison. There's the thing that I noticed is that there's not a lot of one drops. So there's the Trunks and there's the Gohan. So there's not a lot of one drop targets to play, but maybe they just felt that the Unison was a good presence. Are they playing any they're not playing anything that runs off a Unison, but I guess you can just the neg 4 to give something double strike, and it looks at the top 3 and grabs the red card. So always very, very handy. So as we go into the side deck, all pretty much the same for Vegeta here. So shout out to you on your third place finish. Hello. Oh, no, I'm just recording. It's alright. I can just cut this bit out. So now, next up, we have Dean, and we do see Dean's actually trying to, I guess, force the black package still. We are still running the Cumber for the barrier removal, and he is running the Tenacious. So I guess he's just looking to actually charge black cards, which it is okay. You just sort of lose the ability if you need to tap for anything for red. But to be able to enable, I guess, a floodgate and the barrier removal with some pressure and not having to run the Broly, I guess is the way to go. And he's actually trying out the Pan SCR, which I think Pan SCR at the moment is actually viable because decks like Aransu are running around, which can get very wide boards. So just being able to completely shut off the turn it makes sense. And they do have a big board, so it is pretty easy to do that. As we go into the Z deck, where we see there, and then the side deck, which the only main notable is when you play this card using Overwhelm, choose all your opponent's battle cards 6 or more, send them to the warp. So decks that run tall bodies, you can sort of argue that you do struggle to remove big bodies, just purely because you neg things. So you neg a 20, you neg a 15. So generally it takes a couple of goes to remove big bodies, so this kind of just bypasses that and just removes the big bodies that way. So handy little piece of tech that we don't see very often. Of course, another person running the anti-mill hate, so just shuffle cards back into your deck. So it does the 3. I believe this is I guess you could say the free one. This one, I think it's from the same set. Yeah, the whole set got cards that if you discard, you can put them back, what the Sith Goasu. But this Vegeta, you have to actually pay 1 for it. So, and I believe it puts back 3, whereas the others might put back 2. I can't fully remember. But congratulations on your 4th place finish, Dean. Alright, so 5th place, we have Beerus, and we have Ben, and Ben actually topped in Brisbane as well, and I'm now kicking myself that I didn't try and sit down with him to do a deck profile, because for those that don't know, I only like doing deck profiles in person. I don't like doing them over webcam. So, Ben has been trying to grind these white decks very much. He was testing them in my Discord locals, which are a quick little plug if you guys are in Australia. I mean, I would be open to the world if you guys really wanted to. Every second Monday we host a online locals for Masters. We kick off at 7:30 Australian Eastern Standard Time, so 8:30 for down in New South Wales and Melbourne. And we have been actually getting decent numbers. We've been getting 6 to 8 every fortnight, which is a really cool thing for me to see. That people are actually getting behind trying to test Masters. Benny is one of our Masters participants every week or every fortnight. So it's good to see. It's good to see people from the locals getting tops. So The Beerus deck, we will quickly run over. So when it attacks, it draws a card. You can choose one card in hidden mode, place it into the drop, and then KO something, which is really good on your unawakened side. And then when you awaken at 5 or less, you draw 2. When you attack, you draw, and then at the end of your turn, you choose one of your white cards, and you've got 6, switch it to active mode, which is the Whis that it comes with, which comes with the deck. So you just switch it to active mode every turn. It's 25k blocker, and I believe it gains barrier, so it is really good for the deck. And then activate main, choose one hidden mode card in your battle area, place it in the drop, and then KO something. So just built-in removal is really strong, and I think people are saying this is probably the best white deck. In terms of like Belmod is the more defensive deck. This sort of is, you know, a bit more on the aggressive side because you can remove your opponent's battle card. You just can't tap things down in this deck. But we go into the deck, we got 4 Roshi and 4, I'm not going to try and say his name, 4 of the Godly Power. I believe Roshi is a searcher, and then when this card is in hidden mode in a battle area, placed in the drop, choose one of your white Universe 7 cards, and again, it's 5,000 power for the turn. So basically, you can... Let me read this again. Does this synergize with this? Yeah, so you can synergize. You can just like bean your leader to swing a 20k and remove something, like just by targeting the Roshi. And then when this one's played, you look up to the top 5 for a God or a white Unison, and then you can just like switch it to hidden mode. Because we are Universe 7, we can play Backbone of Universe 7. Probably is the best... probably the best super combo choice for white, because we don't have any bottom 1 draw 2s yet. 4 of this Whis, which we did say is like sort of built for the deck. So if your leader card is white, your opponent has 2 more energy, play this card from your hand. And then activate main, play up to 1 battle card for an energy cost of 1 from your drop, and choose one of your white battle cards, switch it to hidden mode, and this card gains barrier. So basically, you can just free play the Roshi out every turn, filter a card, flip it to hidden mode, and then this gains barrier. It's a 25k swing, and then it restands and gains blocker at the end of the turn. So a really, really good piece for this deck. So 4 of the Battle of the Gods of Destruction, so negate the attack and switch one of your white energy hidden mode, and you can draw a card. Again, a card that replaces itself. So good. I really like these cards. Now we got the Arak. So when it's played, choose up to your white God cards, give it 5,000 power. So you can bean your leader for 1 energy, draw a card, replaces itself, and it's a blocker. So you can give it self 5k. So you could just be like 25k. So just sort of like, you know, people have to swing over the 25k. Generally, you've got like 20k bodies. And then we've got these guys. If your leader is white and your opponent's 2 more energy, you have a hidden card in your battle area. Use a combo in your hand, draw 1, play this card. So just all cards that replace themselves. And when it's played, switch something to hidden mode, and then stun something, ignoring barrier. So pretty strong there. 3 of the Belmod. If your leader is God, draw 1 card, play it from your hand. Again, replaces itself. Switch this card to active mode. Choose out 1 card in your battle area, switch it to revealed mode, then choose, so just like a dual attacker, 25k for 1 energy, 2 energy, 2 energy. So pretty good. 3 of the Krillin. So if your leader is white, you have a hidden mode card, draw 1, play it again, places itself. And this card in the battle area, switch to hidden mode. So you can bean your leader on defense, so you can be that bit bigger. The SR that so basically just a big juicy swing. The Vegeta, draw a card, choose one of your cards, switch to revealed mode, this card attacks. Okay, so 4 cost barrier removal. The Gohan, which is the, you know, pretty much the main negate, and then again another barrier blocker for free. The Beerus, 2 of the Android negates. Play this card and switch that card. Switch to hidden mode with the skill to reveal mode at the end of the turn. So it's a 1 cost if you're a Universe 7, and then again just draws a card. The Beerus SCR. So just like, I guess it's probably the main SCR for this deck if you have it. 3 or more energy, play this card, and then choose 2 things, ignoring barrier, switch them to hidden mode. When it attacks or when your opponent's battle card is played, choose up to 1 extra card in your battle area, switch it to revealed mode or hidden mode. So you can hide this to keep it safe from getting removed. So if you like have ways to flip things back to revealed mode more consistently, like this is it's a good target to flip to hidden mode because then they can't remove it. And it's always just swinging 40 double and hiding things. Fu the Dark Banisher. We've seen it again, so just like a game ender, 2 Protector of the People, because it's like, I guess, the best thing you have for a Floodgate. And then this this Frieza Double Strike. If your leader's white, you have 3 more cards, play this card. And if 2 or more hidden mode cards in your battery, choose all of them, place them in the drop, draw 2, and then choose all your opponents. So basically a board wipe, which draws 2 if you have hidden mode cards. So that's pretty cool. And then we go into the Z deck. I think the Z deck for these are pretty much the same. So we got 2 of the Goku that just like hides things on attack. 2 of the Limit Breakers, which is just like the Z extra that all the other colors have. The Jiren Z battle card, 1 surmounting just to like help get you to that 5 life if you need to, so you can't get stalled, and 3 of the Topo Unison. And then we move into the side deck, and I can tell you now this is actually Ben's list from the in-person regionals. So we're playing 2 Ramshi, 2 Champa, 2 Oceana, 2 Zamasu, because you are a god, so you can actually play this for 2. 2 Begrudging Allies, 3 of the Piccolo, 2 of the Master Eater. So in Ben's original build from this online regionals that we're talking about, he only ran 1 Champa, and the Master Eater and the Piccolo were in the main, and I think it was I want to say it was the Bell mod, and I think might have been this guy that were in the sideboard. So he just changed it around and added in 1 Champa, and you know, the Champa, he actually, like, when I seen this, because we played each other in the Brisbane regionals, and I didn't actually realize that this Champa is not a limit 1 to play it. So you can play it twice in a turn, and that's what Ben did to me to actually get the win. Basically, I had a way to end the turn, but I didn't think I was dying, because he'd played down the triple strike and I'd negated it. I didn't realize that it was not a limit 1 to play the card, so he did say to me, Dormant is a problem for this deck, so that's why he actually brung in a second Champa for the second event. So the man worked very hard, and good to see his sideboard tech playing off, but not good for me, because it cost me the game. But if you read your cards, you don't run into these problems. Oceanus, because you do play like long games, so you just completely stop your opponent's turn. But yeah, that is White Beerus, and this is the exact, like I said, this, when we go through the next lot of lists, we'll just like quickly touch on this again. So congratulations on 5th place there. Now, 6th place, we have Mike coming in with Yellow Vegeta, and again, like I've been saying, I think yellow is still a viable color if you own the Gogeta SCR. This SCR is the most broken SCR in the game. Close second being Android 21, I think, at the moment, in terms of like meta picks, because you just heal 2. But this, to be able to just like generate so many energy markers, and then you can start like facilitating this. If decks, like some decks, if you go down to like 2 life, you just lose, because you can't actually remove this without losing your last 2 life. So yeah, that is basically the way I look at it at yellow. Yellow Vegeta could still probably be a thing, because you like can get awaken and be a 20k leader a lot of the time. I don't know if there's ways to make you bigger, but this is the first top I believe I've seen from a yellow Vegeta since it got the anniversary support. I want to say last year. I don't know if it has topped since then. So some people might actually know what that anniversary support did. So it got this triple strike Servant Vegeta that if your life's at 1 or less. So basically, for those that don't remember, Vegeta has a built-in leader effect that if you take to 1 life, you rip the board, you get a like 15k, and you get double strikes. You can use it offensively or defensively, and it kills all your things as well. If you have this guy in rest mode and you take your life to 1 to trigger the KO, you may switch him to active mode instead. So he costs 1 to play out, and then he KOs something. And then he's got a once per turn. If this card is in a battle, draw 1 and against triple strike for the battle. So you can pay 1 to draw a card and give it triple strike. So it isn't inherently triple strike, and it is Servant, so it gets the 10k. So it's a 35k triple strike for 2 energy that if you were to pop your leader effect, it just restands as well. So it synergizes very well for going very offensive with your leader skill. This new Goku come out, I'm not going to go over too much because some people might know. It was more so the white stuff that people probably haven't seen a lot of. This is another way to sort of enable, I believe it like plays out, I think something from your Z deck. Yeah, it plays the SS2 Goku, which restands your Servant Vegeta, which is this guy, to be able to keep swinging double strike 25ks. We are playing, because we do run a Z Unison. So there is a Trunks. I don't know how much play it sees. So we can facilitate the Nova package, which is, really, really strong, because it's just like draws, swings twice, or draws, swings once, and then you play this, draws 2, and then swings 2 30k. So pretty good. And then because we do play a unison, we can free play the Prideful Transformation. We enable Release from Evil. Playing token negates because you do want to try and get to 3 life so you can Z Awaken. And then 2 of the SGRs, and it is a Sun Goku, so I believe it's in the Z, like the leader. You rest like, oh, it's not there. Oh, I just choose. Okay, so when you're Z Awakened, I think it's just choose. Yeah, you can just choose a Goku to switch to rest mode, so it's another target to like rest for your leader skill. On top of being like an aggressive piece, rest something. Because we do play the servants that just sort of get left alone, we can just like untap them with Zarbon. So really cool synergy. One of the Omega Sins, just for a little bit of hand control or another double strike pressure. The new Grade 8 promo, which like just sort of blanks something, ignoring barrier. Very, very strong. Move into the Z deck. So we have of course, a Z leader, the Z Unison, 2 of this new card, which is like a 1-cost double strike and can stun something. And we go into the Z deck, so we're playing 3 of the hand discard hate, so pretty much pretty teched for blue here, because we got 2 Cunnings and 3 Chi-Chis. 4 Forbidden Power for, as... He isn't actually running Nimbus. Okay, so I guess he's playing on a more aggressive style, not running any Nimbus, which is very, very interesting for my mind. And then we are playing 3 of this. So if your leader is yellow, all your battle cards and opponent's battle cards cost 5 or less, have their skills negated, which is pretty crazy. And then it has a neg 2 that if your leader is yellow, you can only attack 1 time. So you can floodgate your opponent because it does cost 3 to play, but being able to blank everything 5 or less, I guess maybe you're trying to touch Aransu. So like that really slows down Aransu because the Goma can't free play things. You can't redirect to the Revenge Do. So I guess that kind of like hurts. And I guess in a sense it also hurts Android 21 having those sort of 4-cost bodies with, like we said, the Floodgate and whatnot. So not a bad card to be running at the moment. So congratulations on that 6th place finish. And we move into 7th place. Shout out to Simo, who also come 2nd in the next event. And Simo has featured on this list so many times, and I honestly don't think he has actually done it with the same deck. I'm pretty sure, and the comments can tell me, he has topped all these events that he's come top 8 with different decks. Which is just crazy to think, because a lot of the top players, they tend to be running the same deck, because that's the deck that they're most comfortable with, but we've seen it a few times now. Simo is doing great things with just any deck he picks up. So incredible pilot skill. There is a 4th place same man deck profile on the channel, which is from the next event that was done by Rowan. And the deck was very, very similar to this. Of course, like the SCR choice was for this one for Gohan Piccolo, whereas Rowan was running the Gogeta SCR. But I'm not going to talk this deck too much because I don't 100% know it, and there is a deck profile out on it. We do see that he is also running the Forever in Our Memories, very interesting. Running the Unexpected Turn, which I do rate at the moment. Running a Final Flash, because I guess like Android 21, if that's a thing, you just like, they swing, you pay 1, you blank the 21, the 8 drop, so they don't get the untap at the end of the turn, and then you can counter the next attack, and you don't have to discard. So pretty good card to be seeing in the meta at the moment. So congratulations on the 7th place finish. And then 8th place, we have the OCE GOAT, John Argos. So he is on Aransu here, and Aransu, no, there isn't many profiles out of Aransu at the moment, but the core is all pretty much the same. I think it just comes down to like what SCR you're running. Most Aransu lists I've seen are actually running Hatch just to survive a turn. I actually played against an Aransu running Beastan the other day, and I forgot Beastan was a card, so Beastan can still just end the game on the spot. So I definitely think that this is also a very, very, like, if you want to be more aggressive, Beastan's your choice. If you want to be more defensive with Aransu, Hatch is your choice. So we are playing 4 of the Bomber, 2 of the Dende that can, like, I think when it's played it draws, and then it can, like, stun something, which can be very good, because there's not, like, all the main removal in this deck is returning to your opponent's hand, which sometimes you don't always want to do. 4 of the Searchable Super Combo, 4 of the Aransu, the main driving force of the deck. The Do that we mentioned, like, redirects attack to the Revenge, and just sort of, like, you can go from no board to having 2 bodies out, and you've just, like, killed whatever your opponent has, like, swung with, because you just redirect to the Revenge. The Degasu, the Do, the Goma, which is another very key piece to this deck, maybe why people are actually running the Forever in Our Memories. 2 of the SGR, 4 of the Redirect Coup, 2 of the Board Wipes, 2 of the 30k Marbars, which actually, like, also enables if you want to run Emotional Blow, because, like, you can get this out for 1 energy off the Goma, so for 2 energy you can effectively, you know, get the Trunks as well to remove, like, Barrier, I think it's Barrier as well, and Indestructible threats, which with Zamasu running around is very strong. We are playing one of these Janembas, which I thought was a bit cheeky, and it is actually a limited to 1 card, and it's purely because it is actually a free play, and free plays like this you do see are really heavily limited. So if you have 3 or more energy and you choose 1 blue skillless battle card with energy cost 2 or 3, return it to its owner's hand, play this card from your hand. So you can, like, play out the Goma, play the Marba, swing with the Marba, return the Marba to your hand, and then play out the Janemba as well. And then at the end of the turn, it goes to the owner's Warp. So it is just an extra piece for swinging. And we are playing 1 Secret Master ID. You don't really want to overwhelm this deck, because you do play things from drop, and you sort of, like, play around with your drops. So you don't necessarily want to remove that. We go into the Z deck, and the key piece to run from here is the Goma, because, like, you can just rip 2 cards from your opponent's hand just by swinging, on top of them having to get out of a 25k and a 20k swing. 2 Deborah Unison. I don't know how much you would actually lean into this Unison, because you tend to just, like, play a lot of bodies out. I guess it would just be if you just, like, had yourself, like, proper floodgated and you just need to remove a body. 2 Decisive Strike, because you do run a Z battle card, and if the Goma removes, you can always stick the Baby, which is a Barrier Deflect. And then just stops 3 or less being playing that you can activate for free by bottom decking a card. So free like, Floodgate answers are really strong. 2 Sensu Bean, 2 Oob, 2 Black Mask Saints. So we are starting to see a few lists running the old BMS that Rowan has been saying in a few deck profiles that he'll die on the hill. So we're starting to see Black Mask Saint make a bit of an appearance. It is slightly relevant at the moment, I guess. So congratulations on the 8th place finish, and congratulations to the top 8. Let's get into the Brisbane regionals. Okay, so back into it. We're back with Max's first place deck. I can't remember off the top of my head, and I've already closed it, but this is the list this time. There were a few slight little changes. We went... No, that was the same. I think we've bung in an UI... Gone 4 Bean. I can't remember if these were in the main or not. As we move down to the side deck, and 1 card that he is running this time is this Android 13. Again, Gammas is a deck that you need to charge Z energy first turn, like on one of your first swings. And a card, like, you saw the Android 21 lists running 2 Broly and 4 Pilaf Shumai. So they're ultimately trying to deny you your Z charge early game. This card bypasses it, so if your leader is a Red Ribbon Army card, which you are, reduce the combo cost in your hand by 1, so you can combo with it, get your 5k, and then it becomes a 1-cost combo, so they can't place it at the bottom of the owner's deck. And I can't remember if Broly is the same. I think Broly might be a 0. I can't remember if Broly just places a card in the combo, or it has to have, like, a 0 combo cost. So this card just sort of bypasses. I don't think he would have ever played it for the Arrival, just sort of like a sort of, you know, guarantee that turn 2 Awakening. So handy little piece of tech there. I've droned on long enough, so I won't go over, like, the repeat decks very often, very much, because they are pretty much just the, you know, very, very similar changes, and you guys can go back and forth between the video if you want. So congratulations again for first place finish. Back-to-back wins is an incredible achievement. So we go into Simo's list. Now, a different list from Simo. This one, very, very similar to Jun's second place list, except this list is running 2 Kusu and 3 of the Chila. Again, Chile, I think, is a really good card if you can facilitate extra energy. And like when we untap 5 at the end of the turn, definitely facilitates this. This one also playing 2 mandatory gatherings just to top 5, and then of course get your opponent a token to sort of be tapping it down. We're playing 4 of the Broly Omen of Evolution and 4 of the Pilaf Shumai. So let's have a quick look. Combo cost is 0. So basically, like that Android 13 just bypasses both of these. So decks that rely very heavily on opening turn Z charging, it's like this is a real hard answer to it. So they're trying to just sort of like completely throw you off your game because they want to play a long game. And the Z deck's pretty similar. And then in the side deck, actually playing 1 Perfect Force Cell, and I did actually see it get hard casted in a mirror match that Simo was playing. So pretty cool to see the old Perfect Force Cell getting a run, because you do charge green energy, of course. 3, Let the Battle Begin. Another King Cold, just to like if you need to mill your opponent the last few cards. We're also playing the Dr. Ulo promo. So, play this card, switch up to 1 of your energy to active mode. You can activate this card's skill from your hand by switching your Scientist Leader to rest mode. You are a Scientist Leader. So it doesn't... So you are a Scientist. So it doesn't negate the attack, but it gives you a blocker that has Revive, and it also untaps you in energy. So if you like tap out and you have no end of turn untap, you can like free play this by resting your leader, untap an energy, do your things, you've got a blocker, and then if you want to, you can just revive it. So pretty good there. Congratulations on the 2nd place finish. 3rd place, we have TN, and I'm not too sure how different this TN list is from John compared to his winning list. You guys can, of course, go back and check for yourself, but I don't know a lot about TN, but I just know that it can be very aggressive. Spamming, like, the tokens, and you do, like, crazy things with your tokens, because you can play them with the multi-form. And, like, you can, like, if you have 4 more energy, remove this card, choose one of your green cards, switch. So you can switch your leader to active mode, basically give it, like, gives it a crit. Oh, that one can give it a crit. But I think it's this one. Gives it double strike. So like for 1, you can give your leader double strike, swing it twice. If you want to, you can throw a 15k crit behind it. Or you can give your multiform tokens like 5k, so you can make them like beat sticks. So TN's a pretty good deck. I definitely have thought about maybe trying to delve into TN, seeing I've seen it won at an event, and I do enjoy the aggressive deck. So that is the main deck. The side deck and Z deck are here. Interesting to see one of the copies of Majin Buu. I guess again for like the Aransu, like an Aransu problem. This sort of like just answers the Aransu. 5 energy is very taxing, but I guess if we're going into these decks that play like the blue decks, we can maybe facilitate this card a bit more, because we're going to be playing a long game. So congratulations on 3rd place finish there. 4th place, we have Rowan, who does have a deck profile on the channel, as we did say. Very, very similar to Simo's list that we've seen with the online event. Like I said, the main difference being obviously the SCR choice, and being able to play the Emperor, of course. So we are another deck that runs a Unison, so the Vegeta counterplay is a thing. And then we go into the side deck. So Rowan was running these grade 8 babies because it does team with the theme of you blanking things. But for the 2 energy, there's much better things that you can do. Running the Freezer, of course, for the Saiyans. 2 of the Trunks for if we run into, I believe it's Marcus. Yeah, so if we run into green, I know he has had a tough time playing against green decks lately because he was playing Daima for a bit. So I'm pretty sure he's mainly played that for that reason. As we said, the Black Mask Saiyan. So congratulations again on 4th place finish. Next up we have, I actually come 5th with Zamasu. The deck profile is on the channel. I won't dive into this deck too much. The one thing I will note is that in my deck profile, I mentioned I was running, I think it was 8 Goku Blacks, but as you can see, I'm only running 6, and I have definitely found consistency problems with 6. So the one change I will be making is going back up to 8 Goku Blacks. We tried Pan as the SCR, and I should have used this when I played against Ben, but of course I didn't. and the double charm or triple strike actually really hurt. So that's my list. Again, like I said, if you guys want to check out the deck profile, it is on the channel. Again, we're back to Ben. This is the exact list that he ran for the regionals. We have already spoken about this if you've watched this far. So that is the deck. Congratulations on the 6th place finish. 7th place, we have Jun again, and Jun tends to run the same deck, but this time he made a couple of minor changes. One being he's taken the Vegeta super combo out and gone to 3 Android 8s. And I think there was something else, I can't remember. He's gone up to 4 of the Broly Omen of Evolution. And then I can't quite remember. I know that is like the main change, was that an extra change to the super combos. So congratulations on 7th place. And 8th place was Dean on Tapion, so the Australian rep, doing it with different decks. I think I can't remember if this is his 3rd different deck that he's top 8'd with, but another strong showing. Haven't seen him play Tapion before, so I was a bit surprised when he's seen it, but his teammate M is actually a very, very strong Tapion pilot, so he's probably been getting very, very good coaching from it. And Tapion did get new promos, so we got this Trunks that opponent has 2 more energy, choose one of your blue hero, and place the owner's drop, place a card from your hand, choose one of your blue hero cards, gets 5k for the turn. So you can play that on your opponent's turn as well to give yourself a bean. It is a blocker revenge. Send this card the owner's drop, the warp, and the end of your turn, choose your hero cards, energy 1, switch them to active mode. Okay, so you can you free play out your heroes in 1-cost heroes in rest mode. End of turn, you can switch them to active mode, so you got 2 more combo pieces. So pretty handy there. And of course, there's also this Harudagan. So when this card's placed in the owner's drop by your skill, place a card from the drop. Okay, so you can just keep recycling itself. When it's played, return something to the owner's hand. So that can be pretty good synergy. If your leader is a hero, you have 2 more energy, draw 1, place a card from your hand. And I'm pretty sure it helps filter your Awaken, is it? Fire into a range, blue heart. Yeah, so you can play a Harudagan. You can play it on turn 2. Yeah, you can play it on. So it's another consistency piece as well for getting the Awakening. So you now have, in this case, 11 targets instead of just the 8. So congratulations, Dean, on your 8th place finish. So that's going to be the end of the video, guys. I do apologize that I did not go into more depth with the second lot of top 8. I have actually been doing this video for a fair while. If you guys have watched to the end, I really appreciate you watching that long, considering I went on that big rant. But if you could, please be sure to like and subscribe, and we'll catch you on another one soon.